Welcome to the first episode of our podcast called Off the Reel. It's just going to be a podcast focusing on movies, news about movies, movie nerddom, anything you can think of. It's something I've wanted to do for a while, to just shoot the shit about film. And with me, that's going to help me be my partner in crime, is one of my best friends and fellow film geek, Patrick.
Hello, I'm Patrick. I am a fellow film geek. I really like talking about movies. That's something I do very often, and I figured I might as well have a recording of that for when I'm old and see, just to know what I sounded like and how embarrassing that is.
Remember when we talked about movies a lot? Here, let's listen.
Oh, yeah. You remember back in the day when we talked about movies and we don't still do that?
We don't talk about these cinematic adventures anymore.
No, those are all in the past when movies stopped coming out. Marvel bought them all and stopped.
Right. Disney's just going to own everything in the future.
Yeah, they just decided, they're like, no, we really we fixed it. We did a perfect job. We're going to stop making them now. We've hit the apex. It's best to go out on a high note.
Right.
Yeah.
So my name is Michael. I've always been a nerd of film geek or whatever. We're both sitting in front of a wall full of physical media because fuck streaming. And I don't know. Like for me, movies just always kind of made sense.
Yeah.
Huge horror movie fan. I don't know. What about you, Patrick? What brings you to film?
Oh God, that's really tough. I've always been, I don't know. I'm just attracted to visual storytelling. I don't know what that is, but I just love watching a story unfold. There's something about the collection, like the magic of these different disparate images edited together to make a rhythm and tell a story that's so unique to cinema. Like you're not going to read a book and be shocked by, I don't know, like by a sudden jarring cut or a moment that occurs in the same way that you would in a film. I don't know. It's just something I've always watched. My parents were big cinephiles. I mean, casual cinephiles, not like they didn't know the names of the directors or anything, but they would like watch a movie at night or something. And so it's always just been part of me. It's always been a way that I spent my leisure time. And it's just kind of developed into an all-consuming passion and an affinity. And I've been trying to figure out what it is about this art medium that attracts me. And I don't know, man. It's really tough.
It's something you think about. Like my whole life, like I was the weird, 7-year-old who would watch, wouldn't even watch the movie, would like get the DVD and just go right to the special features and watch the 2-hour long making of featurette and be like, I don't need to watch the movie, I'm fine. But I would watch commentaries and all that. But yeah, you think about that sometimes. Like, why is it so intriguing to like sit on a couch and watch the story play out in front of you when you can be going out making your own stories?
And I think that's like there's something integral in us. There's some integral communal element. People and sharing ourselves with each other is such an integral part of humanity, and storytelling is a vital way to do that. And the easiest way to share stories now, beyond just like you come home and you're like, hey, guess what the fuck happened to me today? Is you sit down on the couch and watch a movie because it's just so easy to watch. You don't have to sit and focus your mind and read a paragraph where the author is using clauses within clauses and shit. You can turn your brain off if you want and watch a Michael Bay movie, or you can watch a Tarkovsky film if you're feeling haughty for the evening. Yeah, man.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, every form of art, I guess, revolves around storytelling. Like,
Oh yeah.
It started out with plays and stuff like plays in the park.
Oh yeah.
Even paintings, like people look
Oh,
at
yeah.
and like, what is the artist trying to say with this? And movies is that. Like, you're not thinking of what the story behind this movie is. It gives you the story.
Yeah, exactly.
Where behind like music and painting stuff like that, and even some novels, you have to kind of like look for the story.
Yeah.
So movies is a way it just tells you it like right out in your face. So who would you say like some of your favorite filmmakers are?
Oh man, populist answers. You know, I'm always no, I'm gonna go to the esoteric guys. The first guy that comes to mind is Frank Henenlotter. Frank Henenlotter, who is he directed Basket Case, he directed Brain Damage, Basket Case 2 and 3, and then a couple movies I haven't seen. I haven't seen Bad Biology by him or Frankenhooker, but he does Frankenhooker.
There's a title.
Have you heard of that?
I haven't, but I want to go out. The Basket Case was awesome. I
love that. See, what I love about him, I don't. Do we want to get kind of into depth?
Go for it. Yeah.
What I love about him is like, I was talking to somebody recently. We were watching some French New Wave movie. There's a scene where it was Breathless, and there's just a scene where the characters are walking through Paris, and like just other non-actors are hanging out and walking by, and they're just looking at the camera. And I was like, I love that, because, I mean, like, you know, it's a movie. Why bother hiding it? Like, we all know it's made up, and there's like some beauty and extravagance to just like the craft of like not shoddy storytelling, but like you can see the seams. And Frank Henenlotter, he can tell a really good, really strong and cool story, and he's not afraid to show the seams. He'll cast like non-actors doing these crazy, absurd theatrical performances, and all of his movies look like shit in just a beautiful way. By that I mean they're grainy and they're like 16 millimeter, and they have these homemade qualities that I love, and it feels like you're just hanging out on the streets of New York with some fucking perverts, and it's so great. And I won't rant about anybody else as much as I've ranted about him, but I love Larry Cohen for similar reasons. He's just a fucking perverted little weirdo who tells weird ass horror stories, just the weirdest shit that comes to mind.
Right.
He's like, what if there's some stuff on the ground and they put it in their mouth and then they sell it as yogurt, and then it's evil.
It's a masterpiece.
I fucking love this stuff. That movie's
great.
Awesome.
The stuff is so good.
You've seen the stuff?
Oh yeah, definitely seen the stuff. Gotta love the stuff.
Stuff all the time, and never enough of the stuff.
Never enough of the stuff.
Oh, anyway,
but we should have a viewing of the stuff soon.
Ooh, we really should. We should do like a movie, like a series of movie nights for Halloween where we just watch a bunch of fucking weird ass.
Absolutely.
Gonzo, because we have a group of friends who aren't as big of horror nerds as we are.
Yeah. We're kind of turning them a little bit though.
Yeah. We had a friend of ours watch Dog Soldiers recently. Were you there when
I was not. I have seen Dog Soldiers, but I was not there for the newest viewing of Dog Soldiers.
I was not there either, but I talked to our friend about that, and I was like, man, we were just ranting about how cool of a character Spoon is. He takes on that werewolf, fucking one-on-one. He kicks it in the face, and the tooth sticks in the wall. That's so sick. He says, I hope I give you the shits when he dies. What the fuck? He's so cool.
That's really cool.
I love him. I want a prequel about Spoon fighting other mythological beings, man.
That's it. A Dog Soldier prequel. There's definitely a market.
Puppy Soldiers.
Puppy Soldiers.
Pupper
Soldiers.
Pupper Soldiers.
Yes. I'd watch that shit.
Hell yeah, dude. Neil Marshall's fucking comeback.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. But what are some of your favorite filmmakers?
Oh god, there's so many. Going mainstream, like especially in horror, like I grew up loving Wes Craven. I was heartbroken when he passed away. George A. Romero. Mm-hmm. I've always stood by that my favorite filmmaker and who got kind of, I mean, I've always wanted to be in film, but kind of who showed me that it was possible was Kevin Smith.
Yes.
Was fat bearded dude from the suburbs who was a huge nerd, making it in filmmaking. So I was like, hey, if he does it, I can do it.
Yeah, man.
His last film broke my heart, not in a way that it broke a lot of fans' hearts.
Yeah.
Movie wasn't great. Clerks 3 is what we're talking about. We watched that on opening week at the Fathom events in theaters.
Yeah,
really pumped and
it went incredibly well. The thing was one of the greatest experiences I've had in the movie theater, and I don't mean that.
First of all, a huge Clerks fan. Like Clerks 1 and Clerks 2.
Me too.
Just classics. Like, love both of them. I can't even pick a favorite out of the two, really. But this one man, like I just want to sit down and talk with Kev and just ask what he was thinking.
We know what he was thinking. He was thinking, when's he gonna fucking hit his next, blunt? When's he gonna fucking, when's he gonna get torn up, dude? That's all he cares about these days. He's like, I just want to get off the set and smoke a bowl
weed, yeah,
and chat with my buddies about Roadhouse.
So if you haven't seen Clerks 3, there will be spoilers.
Yes.
Apologize. But this movie, like, if you follow Kevin Smith, you know the heart attack story. He's talked about it a billion times. Had a heart attack, almost killed him. The doctor called it the Widowmaker because, hardly nobody lives through it. And he got on a diet, lost a lot of weight, and is doing fine. But this movie is that story. So if you know that story, not much of this movie is going to be new.
Yeah,
like
it's just a repetition.
It's a repetition of his life. The character Randall has a heart attack, and in the hospital gets faced with mortality, and is like, I'm gonna make a movie.
Yeah.
And ultimately he makes Clerks. Mm-hmm. But
he just makes fucking Clerks.
Just Clerks.
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
I read this article, and so this isn't my own thinking, but somebody made a really good point about. Kevin Smith made Clerks at the time in his life where it was relevant. When he was 23, he was kind of a loser, or I think he was kind of older than 23. I don't remember. But now he's making it. Well, now his characters are coming back as 45-year-olds or 50-year-olds.
Yeah.
And they're still making Clerks, which is very depressing because that means that they haven't matured or grown at all.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's like it's supposed to be this beautiful kind of send-off, but it's just like, hey, we've been spinning our wheels for 30 years.
Right.
And we've been living over the same. It's really sad.
It really is. I mean, Clerks 2, that was a major plot point. Mm-hmm. Like, we're in our 30s.
Yeah.
And we've gone from working at a convenience store to working at a fast food joint. Like, what are we doing? Our lives are passing us by. And the big reveal at the end is, dude, let's buy the Quick Stop and own our own business, which still isn't great. You're still working at a convenience store. I guess the cherry on top is that it's your convenience store.
Yeah, it's the American dream. It's owning a business.
Right. So, I can buy that. But in this movie, it's like, that's not even on the table anymore. Like, we're pushing 50, if not in our 50s, and we're still working behind the counter at a store.
It was so exciting, the ending of the second Clerks, because you see the characters are growing. Like, they are developing. They finally kind of move forward in their lives. And I was really excited to see, like, where is Dante now? Is he in Rosario Dawson? Are they happy? What's going on? I know that there's probably strife. I was looking forward to it in the way that I was looking forward to watching Before Midnight, the Richard Linklater movie, where you pick up these characters' lives every 10 or so years and just see where they are. Like, and I was like, man, I wonder if Randall's going to have, like, a wife, and he's got his own family, and now they've fucking finally made something of themselves. But Kevin's not interested in that. Kevin made a good movie 30 years ago, and he's been writing that for 30 years, like these characters have.
Yeah, I mean, if you look back at his last movies, like, a lot of people are... The one negative thing I keep hearing about this, and I really don't think it's a negative thing about Clerks 3, is that it's a movie for his fans. Mm-hmm. Like, if you're not a fan of his, you will go in not understanding
you'll not know what the fuck's happening.
Anything. Not even just if you've never seen the past two Clerks movies.
Yeah.
If you don't know about Kevin Smith's body of work, you will go in blind to this movie, not understanding anything.
And even if you don't, like, it goes down to, like, details of his personal life. I didn't pick this up, I mean, you commented on this. This is your comment, but there's a shot at the end where, spoiler alert, they're at a funeral. I won't say who yet, but they're at a funeral, and there's a character, I forget the actor's name, but it's Elias's friend, his Silent Bob character.
Oh yeah, his silent. I don't remember his name either.
But he's sitting there with Elias, and he looks behind him, and there is Harley Quinn Smith's character, and she kind of gives him, like, a smile.
Right.
And it's like this. It like takes up like 10 to 15 seconds of valuable screen time in this 90-minute movie, and you don't understand it if you don't realize that those people are dating in real life. That's Kevin Smith's daughter and her real life boyfriend.
Right.
And like you need that fucking context for it to make sense why this is in the movie. It doesn't pay off. It's not a setup to anything. It doesn't mean anything beyond the context of like, oh hey, my daughter's dating this guy. Isn't it cute that we made a reference to it in our fucking film? You know?
And that's not needed. Like that, they do nods like that in TV, like, but in a feature film, like that kind of shit's not needed. I don't remember the dude's name, but it's the guy from he was the chubby funny one in Scary Stories We Tell in the Dark. He's now
better movie.
Much better movie. He's now dating, if not engaged, to Harley Quinn Smith. And yeah, there's that little like if you don't know that, if you don't know their relationship, if you don't know who that is or who she is even, that makes no sense.
No.
Like, why did she wave to the creepy guy that never says anything and just follows Elias around?
Yeah, the fucking weird NFT guy.
The NFT guy.
Holy fucking shit.
Bring me to one more thing that a huge part of that movie that kind of killed it for me was the character of Elias.
Oh my god.
One of my favorite characters in Clerks 2. He was a new character they introduced, and he's your typical like comes from a Christian home, super nerdy, very much a virgin.
A very repressed.
Yeah, huge Lord of the Rings and Transformers nerd.
Yeah.
Does not know how to pick up on social cues or even act in society.
Yeah, no.
You know, he gets out of the car, he kisses his mom, and
What's up?
A beautiful little
intermission. But he gets out in the Clerks 2. He gets out of the car and he, like kisses his mom on the lips.
Yeah.
And it's a big thing. Like, oh, dude, you kiss your mom. You're in your 20s or whatever, presumably.
I think he's 20 in that movie.
Yeah. And this movie, Clerks 3, we see him again, and I'm like, okay, where's this character been for the last however many years?
Christ.
But he's still in the same thing, but they're all about NFTs now. That's sort of the Buddy Christ flags, kites, not flags. Sorry, on NFTs and NFT kite, which makes no sense.
Oh, I hate it. I hate Kevin Smith's obsession with like being modern, and like with the times in the worst fucking possible way, because nobody's gonna give a flying fuck about NFTs in 2 years. I don't give a fuck about them now.
I would say that's now.
Yeah.
Nobody gives a fuck about them.
Yeah, they were popular when he made it 4 months ago.
Exactly. And it's a big thing, like Kevin Smith's the first filmmaker to sell a film as an NFT. And because of that, it's not a good idea. Because of that, he made this horror movie that, I mean, I'm a fan of his. I really want to see it. I'm sure a lot of people are. We're never going to fucking see that movie. That movie's never going to see the fucking light of day.
I'm not buying an NFT to watch some dog shit horror movie that's gonna be bad anyway. I'll watch it if he lets me pay for it,
right?
Without it being an NFT. But that makes so much. I didn't connect those dots actually, because any other movie, anybody I know that is a worthwhile human being thinks NFTs are a fucking joke. But Kevin Smith's characters in this movie, Randall and Dante, I think they think that it's a joke, but Elias and his buddy are so intent on these fucking NFTs, and they're like, they're so great, we love them, and guess what? They save the day at the end.
They really, yeah.
Because Kevin Smith is like, you know what? Fuck you guys. NFTs are cool. I'm gonna prove it to you by writing a whole movie about how fucking cool NFTs are, man.
How an NFT kite of Buddy Christ can, save the day.
Dude. It's so stupid. I hate it so much. I cannot believe that that's what they give like the movie's final moments to that too. Like the big, like, we're gonna save the store. This is how we're gonna do it. NFT, man.
And it's an NFT kite, which makes even less sense.
I don't know what that means.
Right, like what can you do with a kite as an NFT?
What can you do with an NFT? I don't even know how you frankly, I don't know what an NFT is. I don't want to know. I don't give a shit.
Exactly.
Is it like a little?
It's like a. For what I understand, and I may get people like calling me an idiot for not knowing, but from what I understand, it's like digital content.
Digital content.
It's like something you cannot have physically, but it's like digital, like.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. No, I have heard of that. That it's like there's something in the, it's got its own specific footprint that can't be replicated.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Like people will buy digital dice for D&D that.
Tell me about that. Oh no.
Or stuff like that. I think that's pretty much what an NFT is, if unless I'm sadly mistaken. But despite the NFT talk in the movie, like, the character of Elias...
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, he comes in like he is in Clerks 2. Mm-hmm. And, you know, he gets in another argument with Randall about the NFT kites. Mm-hmm. And he ends up, he's like, oh, I hope God will smite you.
Yeah, I forget.
And literally that second, Randall has a heart attack.
Yeah.
So, okay. I understand how that, in a character development way, can push him to, like, going against God.
Yeah.
Sure. But very quickly, his entire character, like, at the drop of a hat, does a complete 180, and now he's a Satanist.
He's a fucking... It's the silliest. It's just so absurd, the way that he fucking shifts. I forgot, actually, that he was like, God will smite you, or whatever. I was kind of distracted. There was a lady in the theater. We won't get into that yet. But she was distracting the fuck out of me. And then I kind of come back in, and Elias is ripping off his shirt and denouncing God and shit. And it's such a 180, and it's such an unexciting variation on where that character could have gone. It's so, I don't know, man. It just made me mad. I was like, what? That's the coolest and most interesting thing you could think of that could happen to Elias. He's, you know, the God guy, but what if he's into Satan now?
Yeah, what if in this movie he's a Satanist?
Ooh.
And in a very cartoony, cheesy ass way, after he becomes a Satanist, every scene that Elias is in throughout the rest of the movie, he's in a different, like, crazy outfit.
Yeah.
Like, apparently if you're a Satanist, you wear a lot of leather, a lot of black, you have a lot of makeup on, and your hair is crazy. So, one scene, he's literally dressed up like Daryl Hannah's character from Blade Runner.
Yeah, apparently, when you get fucking depressed and you worship Satan because your friend almost died, you turn into Daryl Hannah from Blade Runner or fucking David Bowie from Labyrinth. I don't know, man.
It's so cheesy. It's so
He walked out of another movie. It's a cartoon. He was kind of a cartoon in Clerks too. That's a way sillier movie, but he was grounded in that. Like, he still felt like a human being. And this fucking movie, what was I don't know what Kevin Smith was fucking thinking.
And that was my biggest beef with Clerks 3 is that you have Kevin Smith fucking up all of his characters.
Yeah.
Like, Elias was just the start, but then, though, spoiler alert, in the movie, Randall is, you know, making clerks, Dante's helping him, he just had a heart attack. Well, end of the movie, Dante has a heart attack after him and Randall get in this huge fight where they're both just like, I don't want to be friends anymore. Yeah. You know, and Dante gets worked up. He has a heart attack. He's in the hospital, and Dante's in the hospital after the heart attack. Randall and Elias go, and they're like, oh, sorry, you can't see him right now. We're working on it. And Randall's just like, oh, well, I'm going to go work on my movie. Okay, so you made Clerks 2, which the whole plot is how much these two guys, Dante and Randall, love each other.
Yeah.
How they're just like, you know, brothers and, you know, want to be there for each other at all times. Then you have Randall being like, oh, well, fuck this guy. I'm going to go work on this movie that we just had a huge fight about.
And even over that, it's in Clerks 1 and 2, it's very clear that even, like, that Randall can see more what Dante means to him than Dante can see how much Randall means to him. You know what I mean? Like, Dante basically just sees Randall as, like, the coworker he has to deal with. You know, he's exasperated. He's like, oh, fuck, he loves Randall, but he's like, I gotta deal with him. But Randall, like, lives to go bitch at Dante. Randall knows how important Dante is to his life. And he makes that clear, especially in Clerks 2, when he says, I love you, man. And, like, they could have remedied that easily if that was his character arc in 3, that he loses sight of his friends. And I mean, like, I think that's what they're going for, maybe.
But it's so poorly executed.
Yeah, it feels like you were saying, like, there's a bit where Randall says, he's like, yeah, I just pumped the script out in a night.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, guess we know how Kevin wrote this. You know? One fucking night.
He got blazed and wrote Clerks 3.
And he was crying his eyes out. He's like, this is fucking beautiful. Oh, Elias is so good in this movie. He should turn into a walrus at the end. No, I'll save that.
I'll save that bit for Clerks 4.
Yeah. Oh, fuck.
And so the end of the movie, they've Randall and Dante and everybody else has made this Clerks movie.
Yeah.
That's literally the first movie. There's actually a bit that kind of bugs me, where Randall's like, I'm gonna make a movie about working here at the Quick Stop, and they're like, what's it gonna be about? Well, remember that time that Caitlin fucked the dead guy in the bathroom? That's in the movie now. Remember that time we went to that girl's funeral and knocked over the casket? That's a scene in the movie now.
Yeah.
And they do it over and over. Like, remember that time, this happened in the Quick... And it's all scenes from Clerks.
Yeah.
So you're reminiscing about all this shit that happened in one day.
Yeah.
Of your entire fucking life working in this store. The only thing they don't reminisce from that day is from Clerks 2, where they're like, hey, remember when we had the donkey show in movies?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that was one other day when you worked in movies.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't track. Like, to me, they should have come up with, like, different scenes. And be like, oh, yeah, this is some shit that happened at the Quick Stop one day,
Or they could have even framed it like, I mean, we only watched, like, a day in the life of these kids. How do I say that? They could frame it like that was they didn't realize it then, but that was, like, the greatest day of their lives.
Right.
Because, like, all this shit happened, and, like, they had some grand realization about... I mean, like, they don't.
Right.
It's kind of the point of the movie, is that they just kind of fucking leave and have another day. But, like, I don't know. Maybe it would be kind of interesting if they'd been like, you know what? That was an incredible... Our lives are kind of incredible in a certain way, in a mundane sort of sense,
Right.
And, yeah, man, just the important... Like, every day, it's just more shit. It's just all, like... But I don't know, like, that makes up a life. I don't know what I'm trying to say. That's there's a point in there somewhere if you guys want to decipher.
No, I get what you're saying. Like, they have that scene, so they literally make Clerks, like, scene from scene.
Yeah.
And then the end of this movie, Randall finally, has the epiphany of, oh, Dante's such a good friend. I love Dante. He means so much to me. No. That's not the epiphany he has. Mm-hmm. The epiphany he has is, man, Dante really helped me make this movie I wanted to make. Yeah. Without him, I probably wouldn't have ever made this movie. Yeah. Because he helped my movie so much. He's still being a selfish asshole. Yeah. And to just further track home that this character is so screwed up in this movie, and he's still a selfish asshole, he goes back to the hospital where Dante is laying in a bed, dying, hooked up to all these machines, all this shit coming out of his mouth. He can't talk. He can barely open his eyes.
He's wheezing.
They have one sweet moment where Dante holds his hand up because he can't say anything, and Randall takes his hand and goes, "I'm here for you, man. I'm not leaving." That was the one part of the movie that really kind of almost made me gave me the feels. But then that's followed by Randall going, "Oh God, you got to see the movie.
I finished the movie. Dante."
So he puts this laptop on the TV tray in the hospital, wheels it up right in front of his best friend that's dying, right in his fucking face, and plays Clerks
and forces him to watch it.
Right. And is it the Clerks that they filmed? No, where they all look 50? No, it's the original Clerks, which makes no sense continuity-wise in this movie.
It's so sad. It implies so many I don't know, man. Like, that was the bet. Like, it going back to that, it's like, we're returning to the best part of our lives.
Right.
But it's so sad that that's the best they could have done, man.
Right. Like, and then, like, in the movie, like, Dante is in his own head. Yeah. He's in his, he's dying, so he's in his own head, and he's watching this movie, like, in a theater, which was kind of cool.
That is cool. Yeah.
And then Rosario Dawson, who, by the way, they died shortly after Clerks 2. Yeah. She dies, she gets hit by a drunk driver. So she's bullshit. In the movie.
Yeah. When I saw the movie, one of the first fucking things you see when Dante opens the store is there's a a little piece of paper. It's not even a plaque. They just have a piece of paper duct taped to the wall of this convenience store that's like, what's her name?
Becky.
Becky, like 1986 to 2006 or however old she is. And I was like, oh, they couldn't get Rosario back. She's dead now. But she's still in the fucking movie.
She's in the movie.
They didn't have to kill her off. It would have been so much more interesting if they didn't.
The only reason they killed her was to have her at this end scene.
Yeah.
Like, escort Dante to the afterlife. Yeah. Because Dante, the moral of the story, the Clerks movie Randall made, Clerks 3 is so bad, it fucking killed Dante.
It's true, it did.
So Clark, he's watching Clerks dying in his hospital bed, and in his mind, his wife Rosario Dawson comes in, and she's like, "Are you ready to go?" And he's like, "Yeah." She's like, "Do you want to finish the movie?" He's like, "Nah,
No.
I know how it ends."
Yeah.
The filmmaker's not only my favorite filmmaker, which come on, aim higher, but
Yeah.
it's my best friend.
Yeah.
Which makes no sense because he's refusing to finish the movie.
Yeah, no, he's like, no, this is a piece of shit. I don't want to watch this. He's just being nice. He's like, fucking kill me, dude. I don't want to be here anymore. Get me the fuck out of here, Rosario, you know?
Right. If I'm on my deathbed and I'm watching a movie that's not only from my favorite filmmaker, but my best friend.
Yeah.
And then the angel of death is like, "You want to finish the movie first?" I'll be like, "Fuck yeah, dude.
Fuck yeah, dude, that's awesome.
Even if it ain't great, like, give me it." But no. Clerks 3 was so bad. Dante was like, "Get me the hell out of here.
Yeah, I don't
need to finish this. Just let me die."
Yeah, right? Holy fucking shit. What a piece of shit that movie was. Oh my god.
And like I said, I've always been a huge Kevin Smith fan, and I do think there are things to like in this movie.
Yes, most
But
certainly.
Overall, compared to not even comparing it to the rest of his films, just comparing it to Clerks 1 and 2, this movie was such a tragic letdown.
Yeah, man, I completely agree. But like, in terms of the things that we liked, that the first however long the song "Welcome to the Black Parade" is the best part of the movie, because they play the song "Welcome to the Black Parade" over the opening, and it's a really fucking cool sequence.
Yeah, they play the song in its entirety from My Chemical Romance. It's almost like a music video, but it is. It's such a cool opening.
Yeah, and it's like cinematic, and there's shots, and there's rack focuses, and it's just interesting. And you like, Randall walks out, and you're like, "Fuck yeah, Randall," because it's like it's in tune with the music, like some triumphant moment in the song. And you're watching Jay and Silent Bob, and they're like tossing drugs up to the roof.
Right, they're once again playing hockey on the roof.
Yes, which is, I mean, that's a callback
with all the comic book men.
With all the comic book men, yeah.
I'm a comic book man fan, and like, there's that scene where like I think it's Don. But they're getting down to like serve the puck or whatever, and it's like two faces come in, and it's like Dante bends down first, and then Ming Chen bends down, and I'm like, "Fuck yeah, that's awesome,
my man!"
And that's literally the coolest scene in the movie.
And then Brian Johnson's in the background,
right?
And he's still got that kick-ass beard.
Man. Yeah, he does. It's a very impressive beard.
And it's all, there's so many fucking cameos. There's a scene that exists solely because Kevin Smith is buddies with the Impractical Jokers and Ben Affleck, and he was like, "You guys want to be in the fucking movie?
I'll make a scene just for y'all,
just for you guys." And this insufferable woman, she saw the Impractical Jokers, she went, "Ah ha 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 ha! Look, it's them." I was like, "Fuck these people! I fucking hate these fucking Guido motherfuckers! These New Jersey piece of shit." I got mad.
We haven't explained the woman.
Yeah, we do.
The woman for this theater experience. There was this couple came in.
Oh my god!
And sits right next to us, and
no, but we so in advance we bought tickets,
right,
so that we would make sure we didn't sell out. We got the center seats because we're nerds. We want to see it. We want to be in the proper arena. You know, we're not going to sit off to the side.
No, you got to be in the center.
And so we go to pick up our tickets, and they show us our seats, and the two seats next to ours have been fucking purchased. There's so many seats left. We overestimated how many people were going to be interested.
We did.
But why the fuck would these people get seats right next to us? And I'm like, you know what? I'll sit next to them. I'll make a new friend. And so that bit me in the ass. Because we go in, and they sit down, and at first it's fine. But then that scene where Elias is introduced, and it's a callback to the second one when his parents come and drop him off at the movies. They give him a kiss on the cheek, and they send him on his way. And it's a callback because he pulls up to the Quick Stop with like a group of guys, and this fucking woman, this beehive ass haircut, loud ass bitch, she goes, "What? He's gay? Ugh!"
Just so disgusted.
And I should have fucking known. I should have trusted the bad omen. Because it didn't get better.
First of all, if you're a homophobic bitch, do not go to a Kevin Smith film.
No, bro.
There's so much like gay like humor in those movies. Like, if you're a homophobe, don't go see one of his movies.
Well, maybe she can interpret it as like he's making fun of gay people because he's like, and Chasing Amy, like the whole plot is like, let's turn this gay woman straight. All she needs is a good Ben Affleck dick.
Right? You're not really a lesbian. You just need Ben Affleck.
Yeah, you just need, Affleck is the bomb in you. Yo. But yeah, man, it's this fucking, and she kept talking, this fucking woman. She would not shut the fuck up. Her laugh is the most inhuman fucking noise you've ever heard in your life, because it is. I thought for a sec, I thought maybe her boyfriend brought her to this movie and she didn't want to go, so she was being some passive aggressive bitch and doing this fake fucking laugh at every goddamn joke. She but she was clearly a fan after a while. She would go like, "Oh my god, they said the thing that they say in every one of the fucking movies. It's a shock they said it again. Jay said snoogans. That's the thing he always says. Isn't that funny, my boyfriend who doesn't say anything ever?"
And it wasn't just like leaning over to the boyfriend and whispering or like talking at a low volume. This bitch was acting like she was at home.
Oh.
Just in her living room with the movie on just for the background.
Yeah. And she's just fucking chilling,
doing
her laundry.
She's just chilling, yeah.
She smelled bad too. She was oh god. Oh, I can't. She had a beehive haircut. She smelled like shit. She was probably drunk as a motherfucker. I don't know. She had her own Silent Bob. That was the boyfriend. Because he didn't say a fucking word. He said one thing. It got to the point, we're at the point where Dante's about to die, and this woman is fucking sobbing. She's going, I knew they were going to do it. And the boyfriend just goes, yeah, I saw that coming. That's all he fucking said the whole movie. It's like, yeah, I saw that one fucking come from a mile away. Even he's like, shut up, you dumb bitch. You know?
He's like, I'm rethinking our entire relationship after this night.
I don't know, man. They looked... I don't know. We're not going to keep ranting about this woman. I hated that woman. I kept thinking about the scene in True Lies where Schwarzenegger is riding in the car with Bill Paxton and he's going like, and a pair of titties make you stand up and beg for buttermilk. Ass like a 10-year-old boy. And then Schwarzenegger just fucking clocks him so hard in the nose his face explodes and he dies. That's what I wanted to do to this woman. I just fucking kept picturing myself fucking elbowing her in the goddamn noggin, man.
Her face just imploding.
Yes. She Bill Paxton's, you know?
She Bill Paxton's.
Oh my god. But anyway, she didn't help the... you thought maybe that was like tempering the experience at first, right?
Right, yeah. At first I was like, maybe I'm not liking this movie because none of the jokes were landing for me. Like, you know, things would happen in the movie and I'm like, I shouldn't be laughing at this, but I'm not. I'm like, maybe it's just because of this bitch.
Yeah,
like,
right?
Maybe she's just pissing me off so bad I can't enjoy the movie.
Yeah.
But no, it was just, it wasn't great. It wasn't great. I didn't love it.
It sucked, man. I was so sad. I was looking so forward to it. We rewatched the first two. I was like, wow, these kind of do hold up a lot better than some Kevin Smith movies I've seen. But fuck, man, it's so cheap. There's a scene. Silent Bob is the cinematographer.
Just because there's no one else. Like,
yeah.
At this point, when Randall's giving out jobs, he's like, "You're the DP. You're this guy. You know, you're the editor. You're the, you know."
Yeah. And it's an in joke. Kevin Smith doesn't know what the fuck to do with the camera. He's the director. It's funny that he's the cinematographer. His character's the cinematographer. Yeah. But there's a scene where Silent Bob decides for the crew that the movie's going to be shot in black and white as like a, you know, of course, a send up to the first film, right? But he's like, you know, shooting a movie in color in this building would look like dog shit. It would be unwatchably bad if we shot this movie in color. It would be the worst decision we could make if we shot in real life in color in this building. You know, like they did.
Like they do.
Yeah. Was that a joke? Was that on purpose? I don't know. Sometimes I can't tell where the jokes are.
Was that a joke or was that Kevin Smith being like, I'm sorry, this movie looks so shitty.
Yeah, was he apologizing? Or did he not even know? Did he not even realize that it was like it was a fucking... And the jokes. There's so many jokes in here that just don't work. Like, what were some of them?
What's a butt thief?
Oh my god. What is a butt thief?
What is a butt thief? Elias keeps telling the story of, like, you know, when Jesus is hanging on the cross, there's the good thief and the bad thief. And every time he's telling the story, he's like, but the... Wait, what was it?
Oh god, what is it? But the good... But... Oh, fuck, yeah. Well, that's how well that movie started.
Something about, like, but the you know, but the... Oh, I am but a thief, or I am but thieves, or...
We are but thieves.
We are but thieves.
Yeah.
That's what it was. He's like, we are but thieves.
We got there.
And then every time he says this, he keeps saying it, because why not? And every time he says it, another character in the background goes, what's a butt thief?
And it's just as funny as the first time, each time they repeat it. Which
Not
is
at all.
very fun. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I didn't think it was funny either.
However, the woman by us, every single time, thought it was hilarious.
And there was only one joke in the movie that I can recall that actually got me. There's a scene. It's just, it's a stoner comedy. Jay and Silent Bob are smoking a comically large joint, and they have to like use both hands to hold it, and they're like, you know, they're sucking on that fucking thing like crazy, and I laughed. And the woman next to me, she was just dead silent. There's one funny fucking moment in the movie, and it's the one time she doesn't make any noise. At least I got to enjoy it.
Right. That's all that matters.
Yeah, right? That's... Anyway.
And there's going back to, like, you know, this movie... Like, okay, to be fair, you never watch a Kevin Smith movie and be like, man, look at this cinematography.
Yeah.
Doesn't this movie look good?
Yeah.
That's never the case. And he will admit that's not what he goes for, you know?
Yeah.
However, when you go look at even Clerks 2, which was filmed back in 2006, Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, which came out before this one, like, they're beautiful films. Like, full of color. Like, the camera is moving.
I wouldn't go that far. I'd say that they're better than this.
Right. Well,
Clerks 2 in particular, the camera moves, the characters walk around. And when we rewatched part of Reboot the other night, I was very surprised at how pretty that movie looks.
Right, yeah, they're pretty movies.
Yeah.
And then you watch this one, and it's complete opposite.
Yeah. It's cheap digital photography. What was that we had a little making of featurette afterwards where they're talking about shooting in New Jersey. What was that story?
This was his first movie to shoot back in New Jersey and however long. And they were like, yeah, he hadn't been able to shoot in Jersey for quite some time because of, you know, money.
Yeah.
And I thought back to when he shot Reboot close to where we are here in Mississippi. He shot it in New Orleans.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, I shot this movie in New Orleans. There's so much untapped resources in New Orleans, and we've never shot a movie there. So I just really wanted to shoot a movie there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, motherfucker, you wanted to shoot a movie there because it was cheap.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
So, you know, he had this massive crew in New Orleans. And on this making of featurette, they're like, yeah, we had a really small crew because COVID guidelines.
Yeah, this is for Clerks 3 now.
Yeah, Clerks 3. And then I'm like, you had a small crew because you didn't have money.
Yeah, because you wanted to shoot
in New Jersey.
To be fair, it's not really the quick stop if it's not the quick stop.
Exactly.
I can't.
Oh, no, I completely think they needed to shoot it in Jersey. I completely back that up. But, like, don't sugarcoat it. Just...
Yeah, what if they shot it really small? What if Kevin Smith went back to his roots and he shot it, like, very independently he just got Brian O'Halloran and Jeff Randall together, and they just shot, like, this small-scale human drama going back, you know, like I said, just meeting up with these characters again, but they, like, moved on, and it's just like a little day in their lives, you know, just like a sweet, like, hey, it all turned out okay. Right. You know, we've spent so long kind of spinning our wheels, but you know what, it's okay because we've ended up somewhere, and it's not where we wanted to be, but it's, you know, it's the shape of a life over the course of 30 years. You know, I just think wouldn't that be so much more interesting? Like, you shoot it in black and white, so you can't see how ugly the fucking store is, and you just make, I don't know, man. There's so many better ways to make Clerks 3 than what we fucking got.
So much better. So many better ways. And, like, over the credits of this movie, instead of, like, having a song off the soundtrack or anything like that, we just, Kevin Smith is talking to us, which is awesome. You're like, I'm a fan. I love hearing him talk. But he is so obviously stoned while he's talking over the credits of this movie.
Yeah.
And one of the things he said got me, because like we were talking about earlier, they have the scene where Silent Bob's like, oh, if shooting this in color looks like dog shit.
Yeah.
And over the credits, Kevin Smith's like, finally, you get to see Clerks the way I've always wanted fans to see Clerks, which is in color. Because that's the way I see it. Because when I watch Clerks 1, I don't see it in black and white. I'm seeing it in color because I was there. I lived that shit. And I'm like, what?
It's so fucking stupid.
Like, what are you talking about, my dude?
Shit. Yeah. And then, like, what's the line that he's like, I wrote this really beautiful line that I cut out of the movie because it wasn't good enough, but I think it's good enough to end the fucking credits with because it's so beautiful. What the fuck is that line?
It was,
Was it God talking?
No, it was, it would have been better if it was Alanis Morissette.
Yeah, right.
And,
no way.
No, it was something along the line, I can't remember exactly, but it was something along the lines of they're bitching about the customers.
Yeah, the customers are the worst part of the job.
Yeah, the customer's the worst part of the job. And then Randall's like, oh no, the customers are the best part of the job. Yeah. It's all for the customers.
Yeah. Like Randall would ever say that.
Exactly. He actually literally has the line in the first one where he's like, this job would be great if it wasn't for the fucking customers.
Yeah. Man, what a fucking way to end the movie. And one of my favorite things about a Kevin Smith movie, or it was when I was a kid, was watching his credits because like there's very few filmmakers who will utilize the credits in an interesting way. And like there's more interesting ways to use credits. There's ways to put in like side gags or whatever, like a Leslie Nielsen movie, like no, I'm not gonna get off track and go off on fucking in credit jokes. But Kevin Smith always ends his credits with like a special thanks section where he like lists everybody who helped and made the movie with like little descriptions of like
little anecdotes,
like like hey, thanks for being there, Mom, or whatever. Right. Like I wouldn't have been here without you, or thank God for the bamboo. Just things that don't make sense without context. But you're like that's something cool, And then like he'll have little jokes. And this motherfucker took that away from me because he couldn't shut the fuck up for 5 minutes and let his movie end. He couldn't even let the movie end before he started fucking talking.
He can't even concentrate. He can't even concentrate on reading the credits because he's just running his mouth. And
that's all he's doing. He's running his mouth. That's what I've realized. We've been watching like introductions for his movies and stuff, and I've just realized like he's not like he's a really good storyteller, but it's because he just kind of happens upon them eventually. Because he'll just run his fucking mouth about goddamn Roadhouse for 4 minutes before weaving his way back around to introducing Clerks 2,
Yeah, I think it was it Clerks 1 or Clerks 2?
I think it was Clerks 2.
Maybe. There was an introduction about like Kevin Smith and Scott Mosier.
Yeah.
And right at the start of it, they're not even talking. Yeah. It's like you're not even coming at the beginning of a conversation. You're coming in like halfway through this conversation about Roadhouse.
About Roadhouse.
And the conversation goes on a good like 6 or 7 minutes until finally one of them mentions Clerks.
Yeah, and Scott's not even fucking facing the camera. He looks like he doesn't want to be there. He's in profile, and I think I counted 3 times he glances like fucking petulantly at the camera. Like just loathes the most loathsome gaze you can imagine. He just like cocks his eyes over at it, and like Kevin, they're just it's 9 minutes long, and they barely talk about the movie.
Right.
What the fuck is that? I love Kevin. I love Kevin Smith. I love his stories.
And I stand by that. I'm still a fan.
Yeah.
Like,
oh no. Yeah.
I'll always be a fan of the dude, but. I don't know. I can't. Like, I've defended a lot of his movies in the past. Like, I defended Tusk, and people are like, oh, Tusk and Yoga Hosers sucked. I'm like, no, those were fun movies, man. There's movies he wanted to make for himself.
Yeah, he wanted no one else.
Right. He wanted to make those movies. He wanted to cast his daughter in them.
Yeah.
He got to work with Johnny Depp. Like, I mean, they're fun little movies.
Yeah.
No, they're not amazing films or nothing. None of his,
None of them are.
Right. None of them really are. But those movies are fine, and I've defended those for years. I don't think I can defend this movie.
See, it's interesting. Because you're right. Like it's all he doesn't make movies for anybody but himself and his fans.
Yeah. I mean, Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, and especially this one, they're for his fans. Yeah. Like if you're not a fan, you're gonna be both of those movies. You are not gonna know what the hell's going on.
Yeah. Oh, Reboot in particular.
Yeah.
Or like, I mean, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back is the same kind of way.
Yeah, well, you would think that, but on it, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back was the first movie of his I ever saw.
Well, you
and
make a good
loved
point.
it.
Me too, actually. I saw it when I was in middle school, so I didn't know what the fuck was going on anyway. But I was like, they said fart and titty and clitoris. I like that.
I was like, it's those two dudes from Scream 3.
Man, nah, bro. When I finally saw Scream 3, I went, holy fucking shit. Is that Jay and Silent Bob? Oh my god, this is the best Scream movie of them all. There's no way any of these movies can be better. There's nothing that could happen at the end of this movie that could ruin Scream 3 at all for me. And it never happened. Scream 3 is the best one.
It's better than 4 or 5.
You're on your own with 4.
Oh.
I'd have to rewatch 5. 4 was... Fuck, man. 3 is such a slog. If you couldn't tell I was being ironic, 3 sucks. 3 is fucking dog shit. 3 can... I scrape it off my boot heel every time I fucking watch it. Or the sole of my shoe because I don't wear boots. But that movie sucks. 5 pisses me off because of what they did with the central... It was also so bad that it killed one of the central cast members. I won't say who. I guess.
Yeah, but people think about it. I mean, we already spoiled Dante dies.
Yeah.
So.
Well, fucking. If you want to watch Scream 5, do it now because fucking Dewey dies. They kill Dewey.
I will say that movie. The coolest line in that movie though is when Dewey dies.
Yeah.
Because the killer's holding him up with his fucking knife. He's like holding him in the air.
Yeah.
And he's just like, "It's an honor." And that line just got me. I was like, they're gonna kill him off. That badass line was a way to do it.
But it makes me so mad, man. Because like they said we're getting off on a tangent, but but one of my favorite things about Dewey is he's silly. He's goofy. He's a silly character. He's a weird guy. But he's still smart. Like for as much as Scream 3 fucking sucks, there's a bit toward the beginning where I forget exactly what happens, but Dewey finds out that somebody's looking for Sid. Like they're going through the database to try to find her where Sid is.
Right.
And Sid's like, "Holy shit, did he find me?" And Dewey's like, "No, I moved your file."
Yeah, right.
Yeah, because he's smart.
It's fine. She lives in the woods now in a cabin.
Yeah.
That's the safest place to live in a horror movie. Is a fucking cabin in the woods. What could possibly go wrong?
And then they never use that.
I know.
Wouldn't that have been kind of interesting if that movie ended up being like a reversal of the opening in 1, but somebody's like a Stab fan and they're like, let's recreate the opening of Stab, you know? Right? But like now Sid lives out in the woods. They're like, fuck yeah, fuck this bitch, and shit like that. Because they're anyway. But Dewey is a silly guy, but he was always smart, right? He was a smart character. And he was capable, and he didn't make stupid decisions. That's why these characters lived. And in 5, my man is like, "Oh, I gotta go double tap, alone in the fucking empty hospital wing." Why is that hospital wing empty? Did they explain that?
I think didn't a murder just happen or an attempted murder, so they kind of emptied out that floor. I've only seen the movie once. I need to rewatch it. I'm not...
Yeah, because there's like a whole sequence where, what's her face? Jenna Ortega is like wheeling herself around the hospital trying not to... So there had to be context. I forget. But anyway, fucking Dewey the smart guy is like, "Oh, you guys go downstairs. I'm going to go back to hang out with the killer alone to make sure he's dead." Because that goes well. And he gets fucking dead. He gets killed. Because he's stupid.
And at least do it smart. Like if you're gonna go double tap, fine.
Yeah.
Don't hesitate.
Yeah.
Be like, get my back. One.
Yeah.
Stay here in the elevator, but get my fucking back.
Yeah. Maybe.
Walk up to the killer and just immediately.
You know. Okay. Here's another.
Don't hesitate. But no, he saunters up all slowly.
Yeah.
He bends down real slowly.
He has to take the mask off.
Yeah.
Right?
He has to reaches out to the mask and slow. Like, come on.
Fuck.
You're smarter than that.
Dewey's. Yeah. Okay, here's a better way that could have played out, or like it would have rearranged this plot a lot. But what if he had because Dewey's very trusting, he's very sweet. What if you have Dewey come in, and he's like okay, he's got a friend with him. He's like, okay, we're gonna double tap. I'm not gonna do this alone. I'm not stupid. But he's trusted the wrong person, and it's one of the other killers, and he ends up getting stabbed literally in the back again, and the killer goes like, "Does that seem familiar? Does that feel familiar?" or something like that. And he goes, "Oh fuck, oh, I fucked up. But it's like believable.
And Dewey just looks at the camera. Not again.
Not again. Not for the third goddamn time. When I was rewatching Scream 2, I was like, bro, they're not going to stab Dewey in the back and have him fucking come back at the end again.
Again.
And then they did. I forgot how silly that is. Because they're like, oh, we can't. In the first one, they're like, oh, Dewey's too cute. We can't kill Dewey.
Right.
And then they fucking do it again, man. They do it the exact same way. They kill him, quote unquote. I'm doing quotation marks with my hands. In the first one, he gets stabbed in the back and he falls over, quote unquote, dead. And then he gets carted off in the ambulance. And then the second one, he gets stabbed in the back, falls over, quote unquote, dead. And he gets carted away in an ambulance and he's fine. And then in the third one, he's like, he doesn't even have a limp anymore. He's been stabbed. His back looks like a fucking cheese grater, man. Anyway, but we've gotten off topic. Do we want to keep...
Just a little bit, yeah. But I guess it's getting close to need to wrap up this anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this was the first episode of Off the Reel. We'll be back with a second episode, hopefully. Hope it's entertaining.
Hopefully.
And, yeah, so signing off, I'm Michael.
I'm Patrick.
Thanks for listening.
How was that?